Oh, yeah. This is where we can talk unabridged after the show. Here we go. Yeah, because sometimes you just don't know what you can do on the regular show. You're like, I don't know. Can we? Should we? I don't know.
And then sometimes you do something and Kevin has to dump the audio of you doing it.
It sometimes does happen that way, yeah. But here you can say whatever you want.
Do you know how long our dump button is for the regular broadcast? If someone does drop an F-bomb, it takes that, what,
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
4 seconds. It's a double punch, which means hit it one time, it takes out 4 seconds. I got one more to go. So if somebody hits a second curse word, I can hit it. Takes out 4 seconds of the audio chain that would go over the air. And then at that point, that's why you hear if we got somebody on the line and they give them 2. If they're really good, if they curse once, I'm like, all right.
Usually if they curse, they're out.
I get mad. I say you got to let them go because.
But sometimes people get into it.
You're right.
I get it, and so we've had that where I've even had a story where they were great and they didn't mean to like, oh, I'm sorry, and
that's forgivable.
And they curse once or twice, and after the second one, I'm like, I'm sorry, like it or not, even you may be telling a great story. I got to take you out because if you say a third one, I can't stop that one. That one's going out.
It happens. People get caught up in it.
Yeah.
I know.
It's almost like you can hear it revving up a bit. We'll get callers sometimes. Go, this person's going to swear.
They're about to swear. Yeah. And so what it does is it takes the, it's kind of like a computer type thing, and it takes a little bit of time. It's about processing the audio, stretching it out, and that kind of stuff. So it takes a couple minutes for it to build back up again and slow down so that you get that 8-second leeway again.
Gotcha.
So you got to sit there and you got to wait. So. But we got kind of like our standard rules. After the show, you can talk about whatever within the rules of common decency. Anything you would discuss in a bar, you can talk about here. The regular show, we will talk about pretty much about anything. Now, typically when school's in, we tell you, up until 8 a.m., we keep everything pretty much PG. And then after 8 a.m., we go to, PG-13 because, a lot of people can't believe this, but it's like, we are trying to speak to adults. We care about the adult audience. That's what we get paid to do. That's who we're going after. We don't do a kid show, never have, never will. But we understand and sympathize because we're all parents, or at least Virginia and I are, and we know what it's like having a kid in the car. So we try to at least...
We're parents, and then Jaybird's also our child. Mm-hmm. We're parents of him, too.
Yeah, but... We did get called out today from regular show content. Denise sent an email and said, porn... Seriously? It's the 8 a.m. hour. Come on, guys. My kids are in the car. I'm taking them to camp, man. I had to change the station. So not like you guys.
That's clearly someone that only listens to us from like 7 to 7:15 in the school year.
Well, the camp thing is changing, and that's why I'm like, all right, I guess we got to reconsider now that all the schools after today are going to be out.
But the thing is, though, I know people that take their kids to camp in the 6 o'clock hour, the 7 o'clock, 8 and 9.
It's tough, and so I think the rules are going to stay. But yeah, and I'll reinforce them tomorrow and let people know. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything we were talking about that this girl did porn, and that's what it was. But I'm sorry, the word porn and
I mean the only thing
about that's kind of stuff that's PG-13.
So when I don't like something and something's bothering me or annoying me or I just think it's stupid, all I do is change the channel and then I go on with my day.
Yeah, but I think they're saying, hey, curb it back, don't get that risque. But I'm telling them, be like, unfortunately, that's just kind of what we do. I mean, there are going to be some things that are going to be PG-13 after 8 a.m. There always have been, there always will be. I'm not going to, for one person or for whoever it might be, or even just for the parents, be like, look, there are times with our show, I'll be listening to replays and the podcast where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to listen to this right now.
Because I got my kid in the car.
I got my kid in the car. I got Cannon. He's going to be 9. And
it's my show, and I know it's not appropriate for Cannon.
And I got to take the audio down. And look, I totally get that. I understand that because you're in an area where we're trying to understand you still have kids there, but we're hoping that if you've got a kid that's 8, 9, 10 years old like mine, that you're going to really hover over the audio. And if it's not something that's proper, that you're going to change the channel or turn the radio off or go to something else. And we fully understand we'd expect that. But we're not going to change the content that we do because of that, because we're primarily talking to a 25, 30, 40, 45-year-old woman or man, and that's the kind of stuff that for them, like, this is what we want to hear.
Well, you've been doing this show for almost 20 years, and you do things when you're in the process of doing a show. You've learned what works, what doesn't work, and you know the combination. I mean, people that aren't in it may not understand it, but you know what you're doing.
And so we bring this up, not to hammer Denise, but just to let anyone know, because we always have to come back to this every now and then, is say, look, here's the rules. We're not changing the rules. We're not bending the show. We're not going to rewrite the show. We're not going to become a different version of KVJ. This is what we do, and it's proven that our audience likes it, and this is what they want to hear.
Majority.
A majority, yes. And the numbers have proven on that. We're doing what we need to be doing. I will try to give you as much fair warning when we get into that gray area content that your children should not be listening to, which you know, because that is different for every parent. But I'll let you know, hey, this might be something that you might want to patrol, and you might want to find something else for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
The most important question, though, did we ever find Lola London?
Layla
London?
No, I think she's gone.
She's gone? How do you just disappear?
Dunzo. Well,
A porn star? How do you just disappear? I give you like 20 different.
But nobody listening could give us any clues? That's crazy.
I think what happened, yeah. And the reason why, and it kind of popped out to me because I do all the KVJ Twitter stuff, and I was like, I looked to see who was following, and somebody had retweeted. I'm like, well, there's this chick Layla London. I'm like, she's like, it says porn, whatever it was. She was in North Carolina. I was like going, oh yeah, she definitely is. And I think what happened, I think she must have gotten a boyfriend. She was moving to Delray, and that's probably why she was scoping out KVJ stuff. She was looking for anything South Florida. And she got a boyfriend, and she moved down here and got out of the porn game. And maybe that's it. That's why I was kind of asking, if you're in the porn game, like she moved, like is that how you want to do it? Let's say you want to try to burn the past, and you don't want to be like having to sit around dinner and talk about your porn career with anybody and be like, oh yeah, I was a college student, or I was a receptionist or whatever, because I imagine that's probably what a lot of former porn stars do when they get out of the game.
Dude, I think she's still in the game.
Oh,
she just moved.
Okay.
I mean, she was featured in something 4 days ago, so I think she's...
Oh, okay, then
What?
I didn't do the research.
She's still working?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Anybody...
It looked like her Twitter was gone. Maybe she just changed it.
Twitter could have been gone. She could have maybe changed a different handle. She could but yeah. And it's weird. She's into the same type of stuff the other girl was in. Mm-hmm. A lot of the role playing with like the stepbrother and the scenarios like that.
How's the acting?
I haven't got to that part yet.
Okay, well, maybe she came down here. There was that Netflix special we talked about on the regular show that's all about the porn industry in Miami.
She's ranked number 72
on Pornhub.
Layla London. Yeah.
So she's getting beat by the person that we
talked about earlier today. Yeah.
We have a lot of porn ties today.
Well, today it just all came up. You know, when you hit on something, it's not like, hey, every day it's porn talk again. And it's very rare that we ever do.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I don't watch that much porn. I know you guys think I do, but I don't know any of the stars. I mean, I don't watch that much. I'll tell you who knows the stars really well. Your boy Panda.
I know.
I mean, you always should quiz him because he's good.
He's really on it.
He does. He follows them on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy, but oh well.
I'm not saying that I don't ever watch porn, but I'm not like one of those guys that needs porn all the time. I don't have to, if I'm going to have alone time, I don't have to have a visual. I got a good highlight reel.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Got this email from Mike. He said, I went to school with a girl that went into porn right after high school.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy was. Can I tell a story? Yeah, I can tell a story. Fuck it. We played baseball, and I knew this girl. She was very like prim and proper. At least it seemed like that.
Yeah.
And she dated my buddy. They were together on and off for about 3 years. And he looked her up about a year and a half after they broke up, and she was doing hardcore porn, baby.
Really? And it just didn't seem like her kind
The
of...
sweet, innocent girl?
He couldn't believe it. He's like, I cannot believe that she is in porn. And she was going, I mean, everything was getting attended to, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
At once?
Everything was involved on her body.
How about that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To have it so close to you and have it been so innocent of a girl.
Well, you did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she did.
Yeah. Mike said, kind of awkward seeing her working at the Mac counter at Macy's now. LOL. See, that's what I wonder. It's like, once you've done porn, it's one of those professions that, jumping into it, I mean, it will always get attention, or people are going to want to know.
Well,
and, people are going to have a different take. It's going to be a polarizing type of profession.
If they find out, I think there are ways. If you are, okay, let's say because back in the day when porn was the golden age of porn, people, they had select stars that they would feature. Like, kind of like even, I mean, this is a little bit even more modern, but like a Jenna Jameson. people knew her almost as a celebrity figure, and that's when you're going to get in, people recognizing you. There's so much porn, Kev, and there's so many people do so much of it. It's going to be hard for people to constantly, run into you and go, "Oh, that's Virginia. I saw her doing that cuckold video."
Cuckold. I love it.
Not that you're not going to get noticed, but I think there's ways I think you could fly under the radar.
And you could change your appearance,
Big
too.
time.
I mean, you could dye your hair.
Yeah.
Get a little work done.
A lot of the girls in the produced porn, they're dolled up so much to where if they were all natural, you may not even notice them.
Yeah. I wonder, when you're in the porn industry, when you're in modeling, everything is about your body and about your looks. Is the porn industry the same, or is it more reckless because of what might be into it? Is there more drinking? Is there more drugs in there in the porn industry? I wonder, because I know when we've talked to strippers, they've said that happens there. I mean, it's the adult industry.
Yeah.
So does that carry itself into porn, or these girls really take care of their bodies?
There's a lot of drugs in the porn industry. Now, to say everyone's on drugs is not going to be a truthful statement, but I think there's a lot of that. I mean, think about it. If you have to get into that mindset, you're going to probably need a couple cocktails, and a couple cocktails are going to lead to more cocktails. Oh, is that cocaine? Give me some of that. I mean, I'm sure that happens a lot, and you hear stories about that happening. A lot of prescription pills are into that. To numb. They're numbing pain.
Ah, geez.
See, the homemade porn, that's stuff that they upload on Pornhub and all those things too, but that's where everyone involved pretty much. They're into it. They're like, all right, they're not getting paid for it.
That's kind of more refreshing porn. There's not a sad story with that one. That's the happiness.
I
want happiness with my porn. I don't want sadness. I don't look at it and be like depressed and be like, that poor girl's got to be on pills. You don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean,
numbing the pain.
Yeah, I don't want numbing the pain.
And not to say that stuff can't go on in homemade porn either, but it just seems like everyone is on board and they're just doing it for the love of the game.
They're not getting paid.
No, they're doing it because they like to get their fuck on and people watch it.
They like to show off.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a type of person like that.
And that's probably maybe why that field's taken off so much.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many people are on the earth. Not everyone's going to be shy. And there's a lot of people that don't have a hang-up about porn. They're like, I don't give a shit. Could you ever do a porn?
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
Way.
It's not my bag.
It's jarring.
Well, I think you're so exposed. I have so many flaws. I would be so self-conscious the whole time. It would be awful.
Well, you're thinking more of the produced porn, like your Jenna Jamesons, but there's so much fetish stuff now that you do not have to have a rockin' body guy or girl. There are people that are into regular looking porn, and that's what the flawed body would excel in.
Okay.
So I read. I sound like
you're such an expert.
Well, we had
the knowledge.
We had the one. I think it was someone that called in. We did that bit. Does anybody? I think we talked to a porn star or someone that did porn that's no longer in it, but they had said that people almost look at them kind of like a side freak show, or the people that will be friends with you and that want to not judge you, they're doing it just because I get to fuck a porn star, and then after it's over, like, all right, leave porn star. Yeah,
wow.
You're just a novelty thing.
Yeah, I think it would be maybe one of a small group of career fields where it's like, wow, it's just, I don't know.
That Dirt Nasty, the Simon Rex guy I was telling you about, he was 18 when he did it. He hooked up with the girl that's about 21 who had a kid, and they were living in L.A., and they didn't have the means to support everything. She goes, you need to get into porn. I'm going to get into porn. He got into porn. He thought this video was not going to ever come. It's him. This is the guy, Simon Rex from MTV.
Yeah.
He's bent over on all four and he's jerking himself off. And that was the video he thought they were gonna never come to surface. Oh, it came to surface.
Was he by himself?
It was he never did anything with any guy. Everything was solo stuff.
Okay.
And someone asked him in an interview, they go, so tell us about this porn thing. He goes, look, man, I was 18 years old. This chick was really hot. She had a kid. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Biggest mistake of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's that chick? Did she stay in porn too?
I don't know. I mean, we're talking before he was on MTV.
Wow.
Well, there are a couple other emails we got here. One from Trish. We were talking about how many people today have fake butts. There's allegations that Iggy Azalea is pumped hers up.
If you just look at pictures of like Iggy before the fame and then Iggy now, it's like, whoa.
Is it a big difference?
The waist stayed tiny, but
Yeah.
the butt got a lot bigger. And I mean, anybody who knows anything about putting on weight, trust me, I know a thing or two about
Yeah.
that. It doesn't just work like that. You don't keep your tiny little microscopic waist,
Yeah.
and now it just goes to your butt and looks perfect. That's not how weight
Did she have
gain-
kind of a flat ass before? Like,
No, it was never flat.
But I mean, couldn't you argue she's a woman in the rap game? She's a celebrity. She's going to be working her ass off, literally.
well,
or
that
up.
was my question. I mean, if you really focus on it and you're doing nothing but squats and that kind of like stuff and exercises that boost up the butt. But the one thing I will say is there were some photos that I saw, and I think it was kind of along with the story. It was her in a bikini, and she was on a boat, and they were showing it, and it didn't necessarily look like it was just like I've seen really muscular asses.
It
like
wasn't
at the gym.
pow. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, no, and those behinds are usually real. Kind of like just round, but hers is like it comes out to the side. I mean, it's very large. Yeah. So did she have something done? And somebody texted yesterday when we were talking about this, saying, "Yeah, I work in an office with 5 women. 2 of them have had treatments to their butts."
40%.
Two.
40%, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
a lot.
And Trish said, "I heard you talking this morning about anyone with a really round, perfect butt had work done. So I attached a picture of my daughter Karina." Big butts run in the family. Hers is all natural and just working out. Not sure if you got other responses, but her broke butt could not afford the surgery. So there you go. That's what she says. That's her daughter, and she says that is all natural.
Wow.
That's what Mama gave you right there on KVJ TV.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can say that for later.
No, don't give you a picture like I'm a.
Yeah, take it
How old
home.
is she?
Yeah, Trish.
I mean, old enough to send in an ass. I'm hoping the mom wouldn't send a picture of her underage daughter.
no, she looks,
She looks like she's in
early
her-
20s.
She looks mid-20s to me.
Yeah, early to mid 20s.
We'll say mid-20s. Makes you feel better.
Makes me feel better. Got to do that. Got this email from Chris B. in Boca. He said, hey, I agree. Chubby Buddies was the funniest name. I was laughing so hard in the car listening to that bit, I spilled my coffee all over me.
Don't worry, I got in touch with Sasser Salt. They are making Chubby Buddies shirts.
I really do love the Chubby Buddies campaign.
They're making them, and they're going to make them a little small. They're going to be snug.
That's fine.
He said it made me think of the Teletubbies. I think you should just put Jason and Denny's face in the Teletubbies, a.k.a. Chubby Buddies. Thank you for the great laughs. Although today's sudden death was weak, you should have had to sit out in the rain in a kiddie pool filled with rubber duckies and greet everyone coming into the building.
We can't do things like that anymore, unfortunately. We're not allowed to have any fun other than
Yeah.
the studio. The studio is the only place we're allowed to have fun. Even in the bathroom, it's going to be all business.
Even in the yard. We can't even go outside, like in the back here by the fountains. We used to have lots of fun back there. Nope. Nothing.
Yeah, I think we lost that war, man. It's tough to say. I thought we were going to be able to battle back, but I do think I think we lost.
The building manager won. We
Yeah.
all lost.
Yeah, you did.
It's tough.
Maybe if we try to bridge it with some peace. I don't know. I know that's not Virginia's thing. To try
I prefer war.
Let me see a couple of texts that came in here today. We had a whacked out news story about this mom. She put a quarter in one of those little toy machines that you see at the store, and out came with the silly putty some cocaine.
Which is crazy.
And they're like going, what is going on? What was the explanation for that? And somebody said they're dealing cocaine. What happens? You walk up and you pay the dealer, and then they give you a quarter and say, hey, it's in the machine. So it's not on the dealer. They'll put the cocaine in the machine, and then that's how they'll distribute it. But
Sneaky,
it's all
sneaky.
foil. I guess they don't think kids ever like really get anything out of those machines, but it's really ruined when, a kid does, and then you lose your cocaine because the cops came and picked up almost 5 ounces of cocaine out of that machine.
That's so stupid.
It sounds
that's
stupid
not,
to me.
That's not clever, actually. It's
No,
dumb.
it's dumb.
Unless they were running their own operation in a shop where they could have control over it.
Right.
But maybe they did, and like you said, the guy got whacked, and that thing just got transferred to another place. That's very
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. And then earlier today, you'd said Fat Albert. You're talking about because Bill Cosby came out of court yesterday and was doing the voice of his old character from the 70s.
Pompous ass.
I mean, you would think even if you even if you were innocent, and I'm not by any means saying he's innocent, but even if you were, you would think for a rape trial, you're not throwing out, hey.
Yeah,
it's just kind of the wrong
it's
venue.
Disrespectful to, what's going on. You need some seriousness. Yeah, and that kind of just goes to show you it seems like it's a little bit out of touch. Like most people would say, hey, this isn't time. You could wave
the
respectfully.
best time to do the hey.
Yeah. But when I heard Fat Albert, I'm like, well, there's no way that's not a Urban Dictionary definition. And sure enough, it is. There's several different ones, though. One definition for the Fat Albert, a particularly large turd that stretches out your sphincter and causes you to scream hey, 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 as you pass it. Which I never heard that, but I love that term.
It's also a term for a brick of cocaine back in the day.
Really?
Fat Albert is another way of saying a quarter gram of cocaine back in the day. Yo, give me some Fat Albert.
I mean, such different descriptions and definitions. It's poo or it's coke.
Definition number 6. Thank you for bringing up poo again. Taking a dump while eating.
I took a Fat Albert.
And then the worst one. Did you see?
I don't think you can read it on the. I don't think you can even say it on the podcast.
Really?
It's Kevin. It's
disgusting.
so disgusting.
I mean, I'm not trying to. I hear you. It's gross, but we've said worse than this on the podcast.
All right.
You know, we pissed on our face on the podcast.
I like that bit.
I like that bit.
I stand by it. Mm-hmm. Not too close.
I mean, you could clean it up. It's the act of receiving fellatio while you are going number 2 and eating a cheeseburger.
What's just gross.
Next level awful.
Who would do that?
I think what this is people making up shit. Oh, let me write something crazy, and that's what it is.
Somebody's done it though, or
I guarantee someone's done that. But
are you sure they have, or are they just writing up what would be a funny definition?
I think that's both. I think that's what they originally were doing. But in the history of humans, do I think that's ever happened? Hell yeah.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Well, think about all the crazy shit in the world. You don't think that's ever happened in the history of...
I hear you. I hear you. It's just, that's next level.
It's next level awful.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear what that bribery was about with A-Rod, Jay-Bird? No, you're interested in that story? Because you were saying maybe you had some information on Jeter.
I was just kind of, talking shit. To me, if you were A-Rod, what are the things you would not want out in the public? It would be to trash Jeter, although everyone knows they don't really like each other, that underlying thing. But if he was really saying shit like, Jeter couldn't hold Babe Ruth's fucking jaw, like things like that, really, going after him, or maybe calling him, attacking his character, who knows?
Or is this woman that he used to date, and she's apparently now shaking him down for $600,000, saying, look, if you want me to keep quiet, give me the money. Apparently what it is, and the claim is that ever since he's been with Jennifer Lopez, he's been two-timing. He's been trying to go back to this chick, and he's been sending her like dick pics and videos.
I knew he'd send dick pics. Doesn't he seem like he'd send his
all this kind of stuff? And it's like time-stamped, and so it's like, hey, you've been with Jennifer Lopez since when? And the time that you were with Jennifer Lopez, you were sending me these texts and all this kind of stuff. So if you don't want me to let J-Lo know, you better give me $600,000.
I think that this girl, there may have been some overlap in the beginning, but doesn't that happen a lot?
I don't know. I try not to overlap, because if you're overlapping, then you're technically cheating.
When you're out there and you're in the game and you're talking to...
Dating, you're talking about.
You're dating. Mm-hmm. You can be dating a couple of people, especially if you're A-Rod, and still be talking to another girl while you start talking to J-Lo. You don't know if that J-Lo thing's going to work out.
I think once you start sleeping with somebody, then you're like, all right, what's going on? Are you...
Well, that's because you're a reputable man. Do you think A-Rod's a reputable man?
Reputable.
I think it just depends upon like who you're with, what the standards are set at.
Yeah, again, that's just my philosophy. People think my philosophy is horse shit. You're right. Everyone's going to be a little different. Your philosophy is probably I don't know.
I think these celebrities have lots of overlap.
Oh, you're right.
Only as faithful as your options in the beginning.
Well, A-Rod is a stand-up guy. I'm sure he would never cheat. Oh, wait a minute. Come on, you fucking... He's got 9 girls on the side.
We talked about that sudden death punishment, or like for you, sending you to Cash Me Outside Girls show in Lauderdale on July 8th.
It got canceled because they want bigger venues now.
I'm like, what? I thought when I first read the headline that they canceled her show, I'm like, of course they canceled her show. Like, all she's supposed to be doing is like lip syncing and rapping to her favorite songs with a Q&A. I'm like and they realized no one was going to show up for that. And then they're like, Because they're looking at bigger venues? What?
Well, I think your insides serve you well. I think maybe people weren't going, and now they are.
That's their spin, is they're trying to say, oh, we're shutting it down because we got to revamp for larger venues.
Are you
There's
sure?
No way.
Because she was booked at Revolution Live.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that venue would still be able to go off, even if they only sold a few hundred tickets.
Yeah, well, but
why would they cancel Revolution
because
Live?
a lot of things could happen. Not only maybe they weren't having people go there, her set could have been a fucking disaster. They realized it, like, we got nothing here. All that's very possible.
Well, they may have said, look, this is going to be a god-awful show. Like, we can't sustain this. Who's going to do this? People are going to, like, lose their minds.
You're right. We don't have any answers, Virginia.
I don't
we don't know
you know
for
what?
sure.
And, hey, honestly, I've been completely surprised by this phenomenon the whole way anyway. So, who knows? Maybe she comes back and next time she's going to be playing fucking Hard Rock Stadium.
Never.
I don't know.
She'll never.
Maybe that's what's going on.
I'm at Hard Rock. How about that?
Cash me outside. And I'm like, what? Really? And that's honestly, at that point, I just don't even know if I could keep my senses about me. I really don't. I might just go into the Everglades and be one of them weird, squirrely guys that you see like run across a highway every now and then.
Kevin pulls out the remaining hair in his head and heads for the Everglades.
I might just lose my shit and go live in the Everglades.
It is what it is.
I can't deal with society anymore.
She's an act. Part of that's real. A lot of it's not. The parents are in on it. They know that they've got some heat behind it. This is not going to last, and they're trying to cash in. That's my take.
Cash me inside?
Yeah, that's my take on it. But what the fuck do I know?
You gotta wonder if they're gonna do an awful promo if they're saying that. If
Oh,
she
you
ever
know
does
that
get
she'll come up with a song.
Cash me inside. How about that? Yeah. I think that definitely would make me lose my mind.
I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I'd have to get really drunk, and then that's not good either. If I'm that drunk and then I'm around something I just don't believe in.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a couple of really nice shout-outs here. One to Rolly, who is a great listener of the KVJ show and lives in Dade, and sent a nice thing here. Virginia, you had commented on something on Instagram, and he had left a comment, and you just hearted that, and that meant a lot to him. So it was nice for Rolly to give a shout-out about just how nice that was, and meant a lot to him, so that's really cool stuff. And we try to interact as much as we can on all of our social stuff, and always try to get on there and do that kind of stuff. And there was also one other thing that I wanted to mention. I'd had an email. I got so many emails that are going around here, but I wanted to make sure that I took a moment because somebody sent a very nice, heartfelt email to us. And I just wanted to pay our respects and make a quick announcement and mention of the two employees for American Medical Response, AMR,
I
the
saw
paramedics.
that on Facebook. They're having the funeral.
Yeah, they today it was at 10 a.m. at Christ Fellowship in Palm Beach Gardens. They had it there, and I know they left behind a lot of devastated coworkers and friends in the community, and the emails that we got were very heartfelt, and the one that I'd had was here, and it got shuffled around in some papers, so I wanted to apologize for not getting that, but I wanted to get that on here.
It's such a sad story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really was. So thank you for that. We'll always try to do that, and please get us those emails, mail at kvjshow.com, so that we can make mention of things of that nature. Bud's Chicken and Seafood. If you would like to get some great old chicken fingers, they got them there at Bud's, and you can dip in that bird sauce.
Yeah, go to our KVJ Facebook page too. We reposted the Bud Chicken and Seafood jingle with Ann, and Ann gets to do some acting in there.
I like it.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, so check that out on our
Absolutely.
Facebook page.
And don't forget to go check out the video too of producer Denny's getting engaged.
That's a big doings.
That is a big deal. I'm very happy for my boy.
Yeah,
he's got a great
sweet.
girl.
They both do. They both have a great, not girl, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Great.
They both have a great person.
Yeah. What?
Not they both have a great girl. I said they both do. But
They both have a great love for one another.
Yes.
If I'm helping you out with shit to say, you better end the podcast.
Trying.
It's
Trying.
bad.
I'm doing my best.
Me and Virginia are having side chit chat over here.
There's a leak in the roof. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, what do you want to do for lunch today?
See it on Facebook and YouTube. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.